Hello, good morning, and even good afternoon to all the students. Today I'm talking about the concept of plagiarism. The title of the article is On Plagiarism. In the wake of recent scandals, some distinctions are in order. It is written by Richard Posner, well known George, legal advisor. He is most cited legal scholar of the US. This is an article based on plagiarism. On plagiarism, in the wake of recent scandals, some distinctions are in order is an essay of 2002 written by Richard Posner. The writer has raised two popular historians. They are Stephen Ambrose and Doris Kearns Goodwin. These are the two popular historians. Both were found, they were found, right? Both were found to have borrowed passages from other writers. They borrowed the passages from other writers. They copied from other writers, and they did a great plagiarism. They did not have any quotation marks inside their citation. They identified the sources in footnotes they had written, but they failed to place quotation marks around the purloined passages. Purloined means copied, exactly written from others as it is. In the passages, they did not put any inverted comma. When they did not put any inverted comma, and then it was a kind of problem because it was a kind of plagiarism. Those source was mentioned, there should have been quotation marks inside it. Both historians were quickly by the criticism. Oh, there are double quickly. Please write only one quickly. Were quickly buried. This quickly is wrong. Print it, type it. By the criticism of the large mass of people. People criticized it. Mass of people criticized them, critiqued them as the plagiarist, and they were just buried. They were meaningless, worthless, valueless. They were out of the sight of the people. They were not respected because they were the plagiarist. The scandals got forgotten soon. But that scandal, that wrong message, that was forgotten soon. But the question of what plagiarism is unanswered. That is not answered. That is not just given any information to the people. The effect of plagiarism is harmful and career damaging to anyone. It is not good at all. It is the worst one. It destroys, it ruins the career and even the individuality of the writers. Uh, the work of plagiarist can ruin a writer, destroy scholarly career, blast a politician's chances for election, and cause the expulsion of a student from college or university. See, this is the outcome. What happens when plagiarism takes place to the plagiarist? See, the work of plagiarist can ruin, means destroy the writer. They, thus, scholarly career is also destroyed, and politicians choices, chances of getting election or going in the election and getting elected is also blasted, and there would be even the students expulsed. Expulsion means taken out of the university and the colleges when they plagiarize from others' writings. New computer search programs will in the short run lead to discovery of more cases of plagiarism. If new computer search program goes in the finding of the plagiarism, it is very easy to find out. There is no copyright infringement, means violator, if the stolen intellectual property is in the public domain. if the ideas are in public domain, and that does not become copyright violation. Copyright is based with the intention of making money, earning money with revenue, and copyright is done only is bad and harmful only if it is not in the public domain. It is not in the public place. The intellectual property of public domain can be used with source in citation, and such ideas can be called plagiarized, right? And then just we can take their ideas, but source in citation is also there. But if it is not put inside inverted comma, if it is not source is cited, and it is called plagiarized. The parodist of a copyrighted work is permitted to copy as much as it is necessary to enable readers to recognize the network as a parody. Right? Parodist work. That parody is allowed. If someone does or wants to do a parody, and that is allowed to do for the parodist from other writers to copy, because it is especially for the intention, for the main idea of making the public really criticize or irony to attack. So it is always accepted. It is permitted. At that time, it does not become plagiarism. It does not become even copyrighted, right? The writer may quote a passage from another writer's writing is one's own, and it is a more like a fraud than like fair use. In parody making, it is possible to quote, and then it is almost, but it is not moral, it is not good, it is also kind of fraud, right? Plagiarism is simply unacknowledged. This is the definition of plagiarism. It is unacknowledged, means unaccepted copying, whether of copyrighted or uncopyrighted work of others. Even uncopyrighted ideas and materials can become plagiarism. It means if there is no copyright reservation, and if any ideas or materials of others are used, that is also a kind of plagiarism. If someone reprints Hamlet, Hamlet is the book of Shakespeare, under their own names, and they are plagiarists, but not an infringer, means violator of the law, right? They're just okay, they are not infringer. They are just okay plagiarist. Shakespeare himself was a formidable, means fearful plagiarist in the broad sense, because the famous description in Antony and Cleopatra of Cleopatra on her royal barge, means dress, is taken almost verbatim, means word to word, from translation of Plutarch's Life of Mark Antony. See, word to word it is translated from this author, Mr. Mark Plutarch's Mark Antony. So it is a great plagiarist. So Shakespeare is also a great plagiarist. Shakespeare has plagiarized from Plutarch by translating without acknowledgement. He has not acknowledged there. He has not cited any sources in his writing, in his book, that Antony and Cleopatra. So he is a great plagiarist. T.S. Eliot plagiarized in his poems The Wasteland, because almost all the lines that T.S. Eliot has written in the Wasteland are the lines from other poets. In it is not his original, they are not his original lines. And it is often said that if we understand Wasteland of T.S. Eliot, and we understand all the poets of the world, because he has brought each and every lines they are which are suited and fitted, which are apt to put in the poem, which is divided in five chapters, right? So he is also a great plagiarist. Milton has plagiarized from Genesis, from the Bible, and then in his Paradise Lost, he has plagiarized. And Thomas Mann also plagiarized in Joseph and his brothers. This is what the writer had said. The writer has brought a number of lists of plagiarism. Milton has plagiarized from Genesis. Shakespeare has plagiarized, and then T.S. Eliot has plagiarized, and there are just okay. Thomas Mann has plagiarized. All the writers they have plagiarized. That is what the writer has presented. The copier adds the value to the original and makes it different. The plagiarists generally, when they copy others and they add their values and they make it different and they try to hide the plagiarism. But plagiarism is an innocent when no value is attached to originality. Some of the writers copy it and they do not just add their own views, own opinions, own values in the plagiarized topic or writings, and that type of plagiarism is called innocent plagiarism. Without knowing anything, it is illegal. They write it, they plagiarize it, and they put it as if it is their own idea. So the judges try to conceal originality and pretend that their decisions are foregrounded and reveal the stealing freely from one another without any ill will. Yes, judges also, if they are but they go in the such cases, plagiarist cases, go in the court, they just do not talk, do not find out anything, any values added in their writings, and they move forward, they go ahead, and then they just give the decision verdict that they have stolen without any ill will, bad intention. One of the reasons academic plagiarism is so strongly reprobated, means rejected. Why? Because it is bad in academic institutions. It is not accepted. It is not good. And it is normally very difficult to detect. But it becomes very difficult to find it out. Either it is plagiarized or not. So very hard to detect. The truth is that the students plagiarize term paper and to a lesser extent our professors plagiarize scholarly articles are hard to detect. It is very difficult to find out either the students have plagiarized their term papers in their term papers, and even the professors articles, they are scholarly articles, very difficult to detect or find out either they are plagiarized or original one. These are particularly grave forms, means serious forms of fraud. That is not good because they may lead the reader to take steps of giving the student a good grade when they plagiarize and write and they get good grade, and voting to promote the professor. Even professors get better voting for their promotion, and it is very serious forms, serious reason, right? But the writer concludes his idea with the citation of the historians who copied from others' book. Two historians he has presented in the beginning, and again the writer ends his idea with the same citation of the beginning historians whom he had talked about. And the author says that the popular historians are not professional ones and must do not care a straw from original, and the historian is. Original, the historian is. They do not care about it. The public wants a good read, press reading, original reading, good so not decay false others' ideas. And the fact is that a book or a play be the work of many hands is the must art, and the entertainment are the products of many hands. And the books can be of many hands production. It can be of many authors, right? The harm of plagiarism is not to the readers but to those writers whose works do not determine sign in his with stolen gold. Their stolen writings cannot sign. There does not come any newness, new ideas, new thoughts, new beliefs, new concepts. And if new ideas, beliefs, and thoughts and concepts do not come with the writers, and it is useless, it is unsigning. To make the writer's writings glitter and to brighten for the readers, plagiarism is to be avoided and the originality is to be made. Yes, if writer's writing is to be made better, if it is to be made standard, if it is to be brightened, if it is to be good enough, and there should be originality, there should be avoided just plagiarism. The name and the fame of the writer depends on how much original and creative works come from their hands. The writer becomes famous because of original writing. The name of the writers becomes great because of their original writing. In other words, plagiarism is a kind of crime. It is not acceptable. It is not legal. It is illegal. It is a criminal activity. It must be discouraged. Plagiarism should be discouraged. The writers must mention the source from where they have adopted ideas and validate their writings to beautify their writings by the support of others. They must validate their writings and they must even beautify their writings by the support of other writers, but at that time they must quote, they must mention the source, they must write something where from their ideas are adopted or taken. No writers should present others' ideas as their own without the source of citation. They must have citation. With the source of citation only, they can present their ideas as on their own and beautify their writings. The writers must be aware of making their writings original. They must be conscious of making their writings original and creative, free from plagiarism to save their dignities and due respect. They must preserve their due respect as the original creators or writers. Otherwise, they do not get due respect. They ruin, they damage their dignities and status and other positions, whatever their identities that can be turned into dust. Copyright is related with revenue generating, right? This is a different idea. And plagiarism is based on ruining the intellectuality and dignity of the authors. Both copyright and plagiarism are against of law and punishable in the eyes of the law. So, or hence, plagiarism must be discouraged. And disparaged means also discouraged by giving the true information and knowledge about its outcome to everyone. Everyone must know the outcome of plagiarism. So plagiarism is not quite acceptable. It is not good. It is the worst one. It is to be just discouraged. It is to be removed from the concept, from the belief. In plagiarism is a kind of crime. It is to be taken seriously and it is to be avoided as much as it is possible from the real activities of writing. If it is not avoided, and then the writing does not become really original, fantastic, and even the image of the writers cannot remain as good as it is always thought and taken by the readers of the outside of the writing, as the readers always regard the writers as the best one creators. That is what that writing must be. Writers must maintain their identity, their creativity, their due respect and honor from the society through their writing. This is all about plagiarism. I need to talk a little bit about this article in Nepali for the Sanskrit students. यस टपिकमा अन प्लेजियारिजम भनेर बौद्धिक चोरी भनेर लेखकले बौद्धिक चोरी भनेको ठुलो अपराध हो बौद्धिक चोरीले राइटरको लेखकको आफ्नो इमेजमा आफ्नो प्रतिष्ठामा आफ्नो आइडियामा आफ्नो पहिचानमा ठुलो नेगेटिभ नकारात्मक असर पार्ने हुनाले कुनै पनि लेखकहरूले आफ्नो लेख लेख्दाखेरि कहिल्यै पनि अर्काको लेखहरूलाई आफ्नो लेखको रूपमा प्रस्तुत गर्नु हुँदैन भन्ने कुरालाई जोड दिएका छन्। सबैभन्दा पहिला राइटरले लेखकले यसमा दुईटा इतिहासकारलाई अगाडि नाम लिएका छन् जुन दुईटा इतिहासकारले आफ्नो बुक लेख्दाखेरि अर्काकै विचारहरूलाई अर्काको लेखलाई सारेको हुनाले त्यो सार्ने इतिहासकारहरूलाई मासले पिपलले सबै जनताले आलोचना गरेर बेरिड भनेको पुरी नै दिए सकि नै दिए सिद्ध्याइ नै दिए र उनीहरू लेखकको रूपमा चिनिएनन् भनेर परिचित गराएका छन् भने तर त्यो उनीहरूको स्क्यान्डल्स नराम्रो कुरा चोरी लेखे भन्ने कुरो बिर्सिए मान्छेले चाँडै नै तर प्लेजियारिजम बौद्धिक चोरी भनेको के हो भन्ने कुरो चाहिँ कसैलाई थाहा भएन यो चाहिँ ठुलो क्राइम हो यो चाहिँ अप्ठ्यारो हो भनेर परिचित गराएका छन्। अनि कपिराइट भनेको जेनरली अर्काको बुक मेरो नाममा अर्काको बुकलाई अनि अधिकार नदिकिन छापेर आफूले पैसा कमाउनेसँग सम्बन्धित छ, पैसा लिनेसँग सम्बन्धित छ। कसैले लेखेको लेखलाई आफ्नो भनेर आफ्नो तरिकाले छापेर त्यसलाई पैसा कमाउने उद्देश्य राख्यो भने कपिराइट हो। तर कुनै पनि राइटिङ सार्वजनिक क्षेत्रमा छ भने त्यसलाई आफूले पनि प्रयोग गर्न पाइन्छ, सोर्स दिएर भन्न सकिन्छ, त्यसलाई कपिराइट र को रूपमा आउँदैन। तर प्लेजियरिजम भनेको चाहिँ के त भन्दा अर्काको लेखलाई कहिल्यै पनि त्यहाँ साभार गरेर अनि त्यो साभार गर्दा आफ्नोको रूपमा भन्ने त्यसको सोर्स नबताउने, कहाँबाट ल्याएको, कुन पेजबाट ल्याएको, कुन राइटरको ल्याएको, कति बेला कसरी ल्याएको भनेर इन्भर्टेड कमाभित्र कोटेसन मार्क्सभित्र नराखिकन अनि सोर्स नबताइकन, स्रोत नबताइकन, डेट कति बेला लेखेको किताब हो, कुन पेजको हो नबताइकन आफै ल्याएर यो चाहिँ मेरो हो भनेर लेख्नु चाहिँ प्लेजियरिजम हो। यसरी गर्दाखेरि यो गैर कानुनी हुन्छ। यसले लेखकलाई पनि सिध्याउँछ, यसले पाठकलाई त केही पनि गर्दैन। पाठकहरूले त नयाँ कुरो पढ्न चाहन्छन्, नयाँ कुरो देख्न चाहन्छन्, नयाँ कुरो सिक्न चाहन्छन्। तर त्यो लेखेको प्लेजियरिजम पनि पाठकहरूले त सिकेकै हुन्छन्, थाहा पाएकै हुन्छन् रिडरहरूले। तर राइटरलाई, लेखकलाई आफ्नो इज्जतमा, आफ्नो सम्मानमा, आफ्नो प्रतिष्ठामा ड्यामेज गरेको हुन्छ, रुइन गरेको हुन्छ, डिग्निटी सकिदिएको हुन्छ। हानि चाहिँ लेखकलाई हुन्छ र कुनै पनि लेखकले आफ्नो लेख लेख्दाखेरि प्लेजियरिजम पनि गर्नु हुँदैन, अर्काको ल्याउनु हुँदैन। आफ्नो लेखलाई सुन्दर बनाउनको लागि अरूका कुराहरू थप्न, विचारहरू थप्न के गर्न सकिन्छ त भन्दा सोर्स सहित ल्याएर, डेट सहित ल्याएर, साइटेसन सहित ल्याएर यो यहाँबाट ल्याएको हो, उहाँले यस्तो भनेको छ, फल्नु राइटरले यस्तो भनेको छ, मेरो कुरालाई यो समेट्नको लागि ठिक छ, समेट्छ भन्नका लागि मात्रै ल्याउन सकिन्छ। त्योभन्दा अरू अवस्थामा ल्याइयो भने, त्यो स्रोत नबताइ ल्याइयो भने त्यो चाहिँ प्लेजियरिजम हो। यो अपराध हो, यो गैर कानुनी हो। यसले सम्पूर्ण पक्षलाई सक्छ, गैर कानुनी काम गर्नु हुँदैन भनेर राइटरले प्लेजियरिजम भनेर बौद्धिक चोरी भनेर नयाँ खालको कन्सेप्ट ल्याएको छ। यो राइटिङले सबैलाई कन्सियस गराएर कुनै पनि टर्म पेपर लेख्दाखेरि स्टुडेन्टहरूले, विद्यार्थीहरूले परीक्षामा उनीहरूको टर्म पेपरमा यो प्लेजियरिजम गरे भने र रिडर प्रोफेसरहरूले त्यसलाई राम्रो तरिकाले पत्ता लगाउन सकिँदैन, सक्दैनन्। त्यो नसक्दाखेरि उनीहरूले राम्रो ग्रेड पाउँछन्। तर यदि पत्ता लागेको रूपमा उनीहरू जिरो हुन्छन्, सकिन्छन्, प्रोफेसरहरू पनि सकिन्छन्। सबै रूपमा यसलाई पत्ता लगाउन अहिले एउटा कम्प्युटरले तुरुन्तै प्रोग्रामले खोज्यो भने यो प्लेजियरिजम पत्ता लागिहाल्छ। अहिले चाहिँ लुकाउन, यसलाई राख्न सकिँदैन। यो प्लेजियरिजमबाट सबै बच्नुपर्छ। यो अपराध हो, यो गैर कानुनी हो। यसबाट सुरक्षित भएर आफ्ना लेखहरू लेख्नुपर्छ भन्ने कुरालाई जोडिँदै प्लेजियरिजम नगरौँ। प्लेजियरिजम गर्नु भनेको खराब हो। सेक्सपियरले पनि प्लेजियरिजम ठुलो डर लाग्दो प्लेजियरिस्ट हो भनेका छन्। किन भन्दा सेक्सपियरले एन्टोनी एन्ड क्लियोपेट्रामा अर्कैको आइडिया लिएर आएका छन्, त्यहाँ साभार गरेको भनेर बताएका छैनन्। त्यस्तै गरेर मिल्टनले पनि जेनेसिसबाट बाइबलको आइडिया ल्याएका छन्, त्यो मैले त्यहाँबाट ल्याएँ भनेका छैनन्। अनि त्यसै गरेर अरू टिएस एलियटले वेस्टल्यान्ड भन्ने कवितामा सबै अर्काकै कविता, अर्काकै लाइन ल्याएर भरेको हुनाले आफ्नोभन्दा नि अरू सबै कविहरूको जहाँ जहाँ जुन जुन लाइन ल्याएर राख्दा सुहाउँछ त्यही अनुसार ल्याएर राखेको हुनाले त्यहाँ पनि प्लेजियरिजम भयो। प्लेजियरिस्टहरू थुप्रै छन्, प्लेजियरिजम नगर्ने कोही पनि छैनन्। तर राम्रो कामको लागि प्लेजियरिजम गर्नु, जस्तै प्यारोडी, कसैको आलोचना गर्नु, व्यङ्ग्य गर्नु, आनन्दको लागि गर्नु, मोज मस्तीको लागि गर्नु, कसैको आवाजलाई जस्ताको तस्तै कपी गरेर जनतालाई आनन्द दिनु, सार्वजनिक जनताको लागि काम गरियो भने त्यो चाहिँ अलाउ गरिन्छ। त्यो चाहिँ खालको प्यारोडीको लागि चाहिँ प्लेजियरिजम पनि लिइन्छ, प्लेजियरिजमलाई मानिँदैन। तर अरू काममा, रियल राइटिङमा, गुड राइटिङमा प्लेजियरिजमलाई ध्यान दिनुपर्छ र प्लेजियरिजम गर्नु हुँदैन भन्ने कन्सेप्टलाई नै लेखकले अगाडि बढाएको छन्। र प्लेजियरिजम भन्ने अत्यन्तै कानुनी रूपमा हामी सुरक्षित बस्नुपर्ने वास्तविक अहिलेको जीवनमा, राइटिङमा, लेखमा सबैलाई काम लाग्ने खालको कुरा चाहिँ लेखकले प्रस्तुत गरेका छन्। यसमा भन्ने दुईवटा संस्कृतका विद्यार्थीहरूले यसलाई बुझेर अगाडि यही भित्रको स्लाइडलाई पढेर यही कन्सेप्ट छ त्यसैलाई लेख्नु होला भन्छु। त्यसो भन्दै अलिकता इङ्ग्लिसमा कन्क्लुड गर्न चाहन्छु। Thus in this article, in this essay, Richard Posner, as a well-known and often cited scholarly in the field of law, has presented all the evidences how Shakespeare was a plagiarist, how Milton was a plagiarist in his Paradise Lost from Genesis, how Joseph Mann was a plagiarist, and how T.S. Eliot was a great plagiarist, and how two historians copied others' ideas and became a great plagiarist in the world. And this plagiarism is worst. It is not acceptable. It should be discouraged. It should be disparaged. It should be avoided. It should be almost seen, given the information to all the people what the outcome of the plagiarism exactly happens to the writers, because it destroys, ruins, annihilates, right, the image and prestige and even status, dignity and identity of the writers. And writers must become original creator. They must give their own identity through their fresh writing without just getting any others plagiarism. And creativity is great for their intellectual activities. So it is essential to avoid plagiarism is the concept of the writer. And many writers become plagiarists as innocent because they do not know, they do not add anything value in the original ideas. And this is innocent plagiarism that also must be given information to all the people who want to write. This is how the writer has concluded his idea. Okay, perhaps this is the concept. And then okay, thank you. We can just stop it here. Thank you.